Good Friday morning. It's Friday, y'all. Good God Friday morning. How y'all doing? This wonderful Friday. Um, it is light out already. I am none other than your host, your friend, your pastor, your cousin, mother, confident, confidant. No, none other than Marnisha MT, your GPS God's personal servant. That is simply me. I'm here to serve God by serving his people. And that's what I love doing. And so it's just who I am is second nature, first nature. Um Sometimes I feel like, but it's Friday and it's y'all gonna have a good God Friday today. Y'all gonna have a dynamic Friday. Listen, so this morning, um in my time of meditation and in prayer and everything, I am my first critic. I am my first. I'm the first person that for anything I say to anybody else, anything I offer for anybody else, anything I do, any post I share, y'all, I am the first partaker. I I eat it first. I live it first. I examine it first. I engage with it first. Um, ho- and because I'm not one to just kind of, oh, point the finger and point the finger and say everybody else got to be uh doing this. Everybody got to be right. I desire to be right. I desire to have healthy relationships. I desire to keep myself in a place of accountability. And so anything I share, I am the first applicant of it, and my life is the example. My life is the lesson. So, um, in Freedom Friday today, we're gonna talk. I want to share some things about being free from your your being free from and letting go of guilt. I know I had mentioned this a little bit earlier this week, but also the I am one I hate it messing up. I hate disappointing. I hate when I say I am so hard on myself where sometimes that just kind of like crush crush me. It changed my whole mood. It changed my whole dynamic. I have a complete low vibration. If I hurt somebody's feelings, if I don't do something the right way, if I, anything where, I feel like I did not live my best, I am my worst critic. And especially when it's me kind of disappointing others and hurting others. And so that thing became so strong, and it has been so strong where it crippled my movement, it crippled my heart, it crippled my belief and my self-worth within myself. And so I know the thing that I'm working on is freeing myself from guilt, freeing myself from, shameless conversation will be back in full effect very soon. But I am at a place where I cannot continue to wear the guilt of the mistakes of the things I've carried, because there's no freedom and liberation in it. I want to reconcile. I like to fix. I like to improve. I like to grow. And for me to do that, I can't have guilt. I have to let go of things. I used to really carry, and I'm realizing this, that I even carry the feelings of other people that they have towards me, and I will harbor it. Like, oh my God, I was disappointed. Oh my God, I let them down. Oh my God, I didn't show up to their performance. Oh my God, it's all this other stuff. And as I'm talking, God is also showing me the root of that and what came and where that came from, because it goes deep. It goes deep. And so and um so with that, I know that I have to stay in a place of taking it and releasing it. I have to let it go. I have to let go of, people always say, let go of somebody, let go of that person, let go. But what if y'all just had a conflict and that person wasn't even, y'all shouldn't have been, you shouldn't have kicked them to the curb? What if it was a misunderstanding and you didn't even want to take the time to find out the other person's point of view? What if um somebody didn't do, you didn't do something that you want needed to do for that person, and they just kicked you to the curb, but maybe you were sick? It's all these things that we do and move so hastily because we are always in protective mode. We always are in fight or flight mode. We always got to protect ourselves. So ways we feel we have to protect ourselves is cut everybody off, cut everybody out our life, leave everybody alone. And that's not protectiveness. That is not even how we was made. That's not even how we was created, to be in isolation, to be by ourselves, to be, things is going to happen. And it's how we govern it. It's how we walk through it. It's how we process it. It's how we engage with situations, right? It's how we, and I needed to let go of the feeling of that guilt because I started being even more in depression. And so I don't want depression to lead my life. I don't want fear to lead my life. I literally want love to lead my life. And when I made that decision and when I made that choice, Spirit had to remind me, what is leading your life? Is the situation leading your life, or is love leading your life? Is that disappointment leading your life, or is love leading your life? How are you? Did you respond in love? No. Did you respond in frustration? Yes. Are you gonna continue to hold people to how they did you wrong? No. Or do you want to? Because even when I continue to hold people and want to stay angry and want to stay frustrated and want to stay somewhere, it's not healthy for me. It's not healthy for me to continue to walk in anger. It's not healthy for me to continue to walk in disappointment. I had to make a call the other day, and it was a good friend of mine. We was good friends a while back, and something had happened, and we ain't talked in years, right? And so I was very hurt, very hurt, messed up, disappointed, all that. And so in the midst of my hurt, I just, this communication stopped. But it was the things where I was feeling that I had to deal with, because when I thought of the person, I had this feeling when the name crossed my mind. I had this. It was a weight. It was a weight that didn't feel good to me. It was a feeling that was aching me. It was making me angry. It was making me discouraged. It was making me feel less than. I had all these other emotions surrounding this individual, because one thing that never happened was conversation. And so I didn't want to carry that weight of that person or that situation or that disappointment anymore, because I realized I was carrying it and was still controlling my life, because it was controlling my vibration. So I had to address it. I had to, after all these years, I had to deal with it and I had to confront it. We had a healthy conversation. And so after that, I felt lighter. It was no more judgment towards him. It was no more angry toward me being angry. It wasn't no more pricking my spirit, my heart. It was no more discouragement. It was no more feeling sad. I promise, it lifted off of me. And so once I made that, this now I had physically by myself, me and God, I go, let it go. I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna let it go. So I just chose to let it go. Right. So I was letting it go, but it was a lot of residue. It was a lot of emotion still attached to that thing. I had a decision to let it go, but it was some stuff that you have to just get off of you. And it ain't about their response. It's about freeing yourself. So on this Freedom Friday, It's some conversations that you may have from people years ago that it's some bitterness that could come in. It's some emotions that can still play. And I don't want nobody leading my life except love. I don't want nobody controlling my life except God. And so God don't even control my life. He's in partnership with me. Spirit is in partnership with me, and he gives me direction. And so when I say control, because God don't never want to control you, he give you free choice. But now me and him in partnership, and me and him in relationship, and I chose to allow myself to treating people right, to loving people, to being faithful, to being loyal, to being understanding, to being compassionate. And I'm naturally an empath, so therefore sometimes I'm sensitive to the emotions that I feel of others. And so I love the fact that that's who I am. Before I couldn't stand it because I didn't know how to channel it. I didn't know how to use it. But I don't want hatred to control my life. So then I started shutting down and talking. I experienced what it was to live a life of anger when I was younger. And I was angry about everything, and my attitude sucked, and I was ready to fight, and I would go dark places, and my thoughts would be so evil and all this other stuff. And I was like, God, I don't want to be that person. Yes, they hurted me. Yes, they disappointed me. Yes, people let me down. Yes, my feelings are hurt, but I don't want to be this angry. I don't want to be spiteful. I don't want to be misunderstanding others. I didn't want to have rage. I didn't want to move and yell all the time and whatever. I wanted to be understanding. I wanted to sit back and chill and just have conversation. Like I didn't never want to be but I was at one point in time, and I was living in anger. And the only person that heard it was me. The only person that was suffering was me. So in the midst of all of that, okay. In the midst of all of that, I chose to say, God, I relinquish this, but you're gonna have to help me. You're gonna have to do some surgery on my heart. You're gonna have to do some surgery on my mind. And it came to a place of self-control. So when I started relinquishing the pain and everything else, I started being lighter. Did I start everything start changing in my life? No, because I couldn't change outside people. I only could change me. I only could change me. I became understanding. I realized this morning. Why people don't want to understand people or whatever, it because it makes you have a level of compassion, but it makes you have it makes you kind of, oh, how do I say it? Example. Maybe I give an example. If I understand why you hurt my feelings, I may give you a second chance. If I realize that I that what you did was not intentional, I will have to open myself up again for vulnerability. If I disappoint you and you like, dang, okay, so she wasn't there, whatever. Somebody was in the hospital and she had to go, but I held on to this stuff that she didn't show up for my graduation. Where just using that as an example, if I didn't show up for somebody's graduation, but I ended up being in a car accident and I missed it. And actually thinking about it, I can use a real life situation. It was my grandson's graduation. Happy, getting ready, bam. Like, yo, we about to go. In the midst of me getting dressed, I passed out, fainted. Second time. The first time I got dizzy, lightheaded, got up, okay, cool. Next time, continue to get dressed, I was out, dizzy, shaking, everything else. Now, my fear was then with him that I didn't show up. I showed up super late. It was over, but I was there, was able to eat cake and ice cream. But there was one thing I prayed. I never wanted it to fester later and say, my grandma didn't come. It wasn't that I couldn't make it. Like, it wasn't my intention not to be there. I was sick. First time experiencing vertigo. It took me out. I just laid there like, yo. um, and so doing that, it could have been some resentment later, you know. But if I know when people understand the truth or know or open up to know the intent of somebody or to be understanding, it still opens up another door for them to possibly get hurt again. It still open up another way for them. Even with me, I be wanting to stay angry. So I don't, nope, let me stay mad because it's my right and nobody gonna hurt me like this. Nobody gonna disappoint me like this no more. Good morning. I mean, grand divine rising, my beautiful wife. Ain't nobody gonna let me down like this. So I'm just gonna stay. This is my anger when I was angry. Nobody gonna do it no more. So I stayed angry. I stayed mad. And so I was killing my own self. But once I started understanding and talking to people, I'm like, oh, that's what happened. Okay, cool. But then if it happened again, or something happened again, or if something happened again, I hated kind of be so understanding and compassionate because it started opening up doors and levels of me to be more vulnerable again, to allow myself to get hurt again. But when I understood also too, it took a weight off of me. And then it still could have been a choice to say, you know what, I don't want to fool with that. I see them. This happened a couple of times. This is just who they are, whatever the case may be. And so in Freedom Friday, as I'm wrapping up, it is for me, I'm sharing me. I have to relinquish and let go and be free from guilt. Have to let go and be free from um um not being the perfect person and just embracing me and even my mistakes, because it used to be, I'm not here no more, but it used to be so heavy for me where I would start self-harming myself because, or self-disciplining myself because I didn't do something right. So let me be my consequencer. That ain't the word, but I think I made it up. Let me be my own disciplinary person. Let me do these things so you can have the consequences because you did something wrong. You hurt somebody's feelings, you did this. So it used to get me really in a bad way. And I was harming myself. But now every day I'm in a place where I won't, letting go of being led by fear, letting go of being led by guilt, letting go of being led by worry, letting go. I have made a conscious decision, and it's something to work at. And I have to grace myself because I would love to never make another mistake again, y'all. That's just me. I would love to be so perfect for my family, so perfect for my wife, so perfect for my mama, so perfect for God. And that's the thing. If I'm so perfect to God, if I be so good for God, I treat everybody right, and I won't disappoint anybody because God, everybody is happy. So that's me serving you. But it don't go like that. I serve God in me being real and authentic and being real with those around me and striving to continue to love better, show the manifestation of love, striving to be more understanding, to be compassionate, to be forgiving, to be enduring, the fruits of the spirit, you know. And those are the things ultimately I want charity to lead my life. I want love to be my guide. All right, so y'all have a great dynamic God Friday, a Good Friday, a Freeing Friday. Free yourself from things that's stopping you from being the greatest you, the best you. All right, I am none other than your GPS, God's personal servant, Marnisha MT. That is me. I'm out.